This video is going to go over how to use the CAD Plan Vault. The CAD Plan Vault is a web-based application that's available to internal and external users of ODOT. And it's a quick and easy way for you to find construction plans that ODOT has been worked on in the past. So getting started, an easy way to find a construction plan is in the top left. You can actually search. If you knew the PID or county route section, you can go ahead and type that in, and you can see how it separates it by lines and points. That's one way of doing it. You can also click on the drop down and narrow down your search. You can also do city searches as well. However, this is a web-based web map, so it does excel in looking for construction plans in a GIS perspective. So I can zoom in on a route and take a look at some of the construction plans that were done in the past. So here you can see that the yellow lines are forming and there's also orange dots. If we go over to our top right, our first one here, it's actually the legend. So you can see that the orange dots, of course, are points, which can represent bridges, culverts, things like that. And then you have lines, which could be a linear feature such as roadway work or anything in that matter. So if I zoom in, let's say, I'm coming in here to 70, right in between, I think this is 256, you can click on a linear feature or even a dot, for example, and you can see that where I selected, there's one of 26. Okay, so there's 26 intersecting linear features or dots and where I clicked. And I can actually navigate this by clicking the next arrow, and I can take a look at the metadata associated with each of those plans. So I can scroll down, take a look at the route number, project description, and if you found the plan that you're looking for example, this one was plan date was 2016 and the construction date was 2018, and this, let's say this is the safety traffic control that you're looking for, you can click Get Plan, and what this is going to do is go into the Ohio DOT archive data source and ProjectWise and get the document associated with this metadata, and it's going to download it to the web browser for you to view it. So here we can see that we have one of 18 pages. This is the PID number that we're looking at, and you can scroll through the construction plan to view it. So that's one quick and easy way to do that. So we're going to close out of that, and I'm going to zoom out here, and I'm going to go over some of the other features that the Plan Vault has. So starting out, we talked about the legend. There's also a layer list if you wanted to turn off things by layer. For example, I didn't want to see points. I can turn that layer off and back on. There's also city boundaries if you wanted to see that. Currently, you can see district boundaries and I believe county as well. But we can zoom in here, and you can actually change the base map gallery. So right now we're in streets, but we can turn on imagery or imagery with labels, and you can kind of see a more satellite view of the map itself. But I like to keep it on streets to keep everything running a little faster, because when it comes to imagery it might be a little slower in that case, but it's really just a preference. There's also a measuring tool. You can measure an area for acreage, or you can also do a distance. For example, this ramp to this ramp, we can say is 0.39 miles. So that's a little added feature you can use if you find that useful. There's also an add data option, so you can add some data. More importantly, add files. So if you have a GeoJSON that you want to see on a map, you can browse to it or click and drag it, I believe, into this, and it will display on the map for you. Now, one of the most important features is this select area. So I demonstrated, clicking a certain feature on the map. You can also do a rectangle, create a rectangle of everything within that area. So, I might not know exactly where it's at, but I can go ahead and do something like this, and it's going to return every linear future point future within that boundary that I just created. And you can see that in the points we have 23, and then we have 53 for lines. And I can actually click the three dots here, zoom in, see statistics, but what I want to look at is this view and attribute table. So now I have an attribute table of everything within that boundary that I've created and all the metadata associated with it. So I can come in here and double click on each one of these, and it's going to pan to the metadata itself. So let's say this is the plan that I want. I can go ahead and click Get Plan, and it's going to go into ProjectWise in our archive data source and get that plan and return it in our web browser for us. So now I can take a look at the construction plan. This one doesn't have right away, but we did specifically name our images or our essentially bookmarks or table of contents to have RW suffixed, so you can easily navigate to that without having to read the index of sheets. Sometimes plans can get pretty big, and having the RW on the left side here as a bookmark can make things a lot quicker. But in this case, it does not have right away, so we'll go ahead and close out of that. So I can easily go ahead and clear that and navigate the attribute table still if I wanted to. But for now, we're going to go ahead and close that. Another way is that you can actually search by querying. So let's say, I'm looking for a bridge or culvert, I can, query in points, or if it's a roadway segment, I can go ahead and do a query there. If I know the district, I can add that. If I know more of the county, then I can do that. You can also start typing it in to narrow down that search. So here we're going to go ahead and click on Fairfield County and my route number. So I want to see something on 70. It is a 5-digit code. So you can see an example, 315 would be 00315. So route 70 would be 3070. So now I can hit apply, and it's going to query everything that I just did. So if I zoom out, you can see kind of the sections there. I can collapse these if I want. A lot of these have SLM points at the end of it, so you can kind of narrow through that, or you can click on the drop down to read the metadata and things such as that matter. So here I can actually click, and it'll also pan me as well. So that's another quick, easy way to find plans. So you can also expand these out again if you'd like. Okay. So last but not least, we have filtering, so you can filter that as well. But my personal preference is either querying, or you can do a rectangular search. So that is an overview of the Web Plan Vault. So if you guys have any questions, you can always submit a form stack request, which I'll link in the description below, if you need any assistance with navigating the CAD Plan Vault web map application.